This past weekend, the world of celebrities was shaken, and the fans of the series Friends, with the news of the death of one of the actors from the TV series Friends, Matthew Perry. At the age of 54, he was found dead at home in a jacuzzi on Saturday afternoon. The actor, who was known through being part of Friends cast, had a successful story with his career, in which, in the series considered one of the most successful of all time, watched by millions of people worldwide, he earned more than $1 million per episode he participated in. And there were more than 230 episodes in the 10 seasons of the series. But his life was not of success only. If in the professional field he was very successful, in the personal field, Matthew Perry had a long battle for more than 30 years against addiction, alcoholism, and controlled drugs. He had almost died in an overdose from these drugs a few years ago. Matthew Perry, ironically, so to speak, he died without a friend by his side. He died alone in a life that was shortened, and the cause of death is not yet known, certainly not natural death, but premature and unfortunate death. But even more unfortunate, it is to know that Matthew's situation is replicated by millions and millions of lives. We can even say billions of lives if we include not only celebrities but the anonymous people worldwide. Have you ever noticed that it is becoming common to hear news about a famous person who died early, someone who died for a silly reason, or who took their own life? Basically, every day. You don't spend 1 week without hearing news like this. It is another tragedy, Matthew Perry's death, that shows the size of the emptiness that can exist in the soul of the human being. The size of the emptiness. The emptiness that can exist in the human being can be so great, but so great, so deep, there is no use how great the success is, no matter the size of the fame or the intensity of the fame or the pleasures lived by the person, how many men and women, how much money they had in their bank account, no matter if the person stayed with the most beautiful people in this world, if they enjoyed the best pleasures, still nothing can fill the abyss, this emptiness. On how great is the abyss of the human soul when it does not know its creator. As King Solomon said in Ecclesiastes chapter 3 verse 11, that God put eternity in the heart of man. Some Bible translations bring the word as world, but in the original, it was eternity. God placed eternity in the heart of man, which means, think. If God has put eternity in man's heart, this space is endless. Only one thing can fill this space: the one who is eternal. Use your intelligence. Maybe you ask yourself, why do I feel so empty? Why doesn't anything fill me up? You see that today we hear of the depression of the successful, of those who achieve great success, but still they are depressed, sad, addicts. They end up taking their own lives or dying for a silly reason, shortening their lives. There is the depression of the successful, that they achieve everything that they want and dream about. And there is also the depression of the unsuccessful, who thinks, I am unhappy because I did not achieve what I wanted in my life or what others have. On one side or the other, there are empty, unhappy people who want to die. Why? How many more lives like Matthew Paris will be necessary? How many more examples for the human being to understand that nothing in this world can fill the emptiness of your soul? How many more? How many more deaths? How many more tragedies like this one will be necessary? If there's an eternity in your heart, only what is eternal can fill it up, can fill this space. The Lord Jesus said in a different way. He said like this, "For what will it profit a man if he gains the whole world and loses his own soul? What will it profit?" So people continue to seek in the world to fill emptiness and anxieties, but they continue to be hardly, deeply frustrated and discharge their frustration on themselves and others. What is addiction if not something that punishes the addict? What is addiction if not something that punishes the addict, even though they know that they are dying little by little, they are losing their money? Matthew Perry ended up spending, according to reports, more than $9 million with treatment to recover from his addiction. More than 45 millions of reais trying to solve his addiction problem. And most probably, he didn't manage to do it for more than 30 years. What is addiction if not something that punishes the addict, that takes everything from the addict and still they cannot stop on practicing it? What strength is this that leads the human being to destroy themselves, that leads the human being to walk like a zombie, a blind person or a deaf person, heading themselves to their own destruction? Is this emptiness, this distance from their Creator? I'm not talking about religion. I am not talking about you becoming a religious person, because religion can fill this void. If it could, there wouldn't be enough religions to fill that gap, because we have so many religions out there. But the more religions, the more misfortunes human beings generate. So it's not the religion that will fill this, but the return to paradise. What is the return to paradise? Is the return to the place where the human being should never have left, the place of communion with God, obedience, and living according to God's principles. Because King Solomon also said that he, being the wealthiest man in the world, sought everything his eyes desired and his heart asked for, and he denied them nothing. He gave himself everything he wanted and dreamt about. And what he found in the end was depression. He said, I hated this life. I hated this life. I gave me everything I wanted, and in the end, I hated this life, and I understood that everything is anguish of spirit and vanity. Dear friends, you may have put so much strength in the search for something that you think, when I have this, I will be happy. You seek it with all your strength, and you hold it accountable, your objectives and achievements, your happiness. You are on a path of great frustration. It's not that you shouldn't have goals, that you shouldn't fight to accomplish things in this life. The human being is in this life for a reason, to accomplish something, not to be a weight over the earth. But don't hold your achievements responsible for your happiness, because your happiness is not in them, and none of them will be able to fill this void, this hole that eternity has left in your soul. The only one who can fill this void is the Eternal One. So you have to seek Him. You have to desire Him. And when you meet Him, you understand that you don't need much in this world to be happy. People are always seeking for something more because it's never enough. But when they find it, when people find the Eternal One, they find out that they don't need much to be happy. They don't need it, because happiness starts to exist in them with the presence of the One who is eternal. Let's learn with the mistakes of others. Let's not repeat their mistakes. Let's not try to commit our own mistakes to taste failure. That this lesson may serve at least for one person who is living the same personal hell that Matthew Perry was unfortunately living in. If today's video helped you and you know someone that could benefit from it, share it with them, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel, you may do so now. See you later.